Today, good to be with you. Always nice to talk about Snæfellsnes. And this map is one of the things that we have been working on the last years. The question is there something special about Snæfellsnes? And if it is, what is it then? And as you can see on this map, you have the mineral water, you have some of the animals that live around Snæfellsnes and in Snæfellsnes. You see a little bit of the people, nature, culture, craft, food, etc. May look simple, but there was a lot of meanings about this. What are the colors of Snæfellsnes? Should it be a man or a woman holding a fish? What kind of fish, etc. So, yeah. So that's nice. It's always good to involve and take this discussion about because if I try to connect to what have already been said here today, I know that so many people have put it in nice words, but it is about you have to love to really care and this connection. And in all our work, we don't look at people as problem. They are part of the solution. And I know that beautiful areas like Snæfellsnes are not owned by us who live there. But we don't want to travel around Snæfellsnes and don't see lights in the houses. And so that's, you are looking at the only employer at the only regional park in Iceland. I'm not going to pretend to be any bigger than we are. It's small, everything is small. And we are also small kings. You are visiting a country of small kings. In my area in Snæfellsnes, 90 kilometers long peninsula, with around 4,000 inhabitants, we have 4 municipalities. That means 4 set of communities for tourism, for agriculture, etc. Think about the level of democracy. So even though it's, I know this is recorded and I know this is highly political, but because I'm working for all Snæfellsnes, I think that it would be so much easier if we were one municipality, and that is the way we're going. But until that is the will of the people who live there, then we work with what we have. And that is a luxury, of course, to have all these people going to all those meetings. And it's just what we make out of it. So yeah, and that is what I'm trying to share here. The regional park and our tools, they are not good or bad. They are tools, and as good as we make them, like if it's a shovel or a tractor or fishing net or whatever. So okay, 4,000 people. Out of that, circa 810 from other countries. That's also an issue. When we talk about regenerative tourism, sustainability, responsibility, regenerative, who are the people of Snæfellsnes? Because it's like music to my ears, all this about regenerative tourism, because it fits so well into what we are trying to do in Snæfellsnes, that the people who call it home, that they have something to say about the future. The future don't only come, we're not sitting there waiting for it, we want to shape it. And then of course also we know that jobs are changing, everything is changing. It's interesting times we are living in. And and if you have visited us, can you raise your hands who have been in Snæfellsnes? Yeah, almost everyone. And I look forward to have the rest of you for a visit. Few years ago, only 20, 30 years ago, it would have been agriculture on the south side where I live on a sheep farm, and fishery on the north side, to paint it very simple. And then tourism happened, just in the last 25 years. And now we are receiving a lot of guests. We have been trying to count them, and of course, no year is exactly like the year before, everything is changing. Now, for example, the tourists are coming like never before in autumn. And but okay, I was gonna speak. Not very long. That's difficult for me, so yeah. But I just want to say 4,000 people welcoming between 700 and 900,000 guests per year. That's a lot. And they are relatively happy about it. Of course not everything is great in Snæfellsnes, and we totally do have arguments and don't agree with everything, and that is healthy. That's also this platform for cooperation that we have made. That's what it's for. So do we want tourists? Yes. I think the almost all of us would say, yes, thank you for coming and making it possible for us to have the young people back, all this job creation, can go to a lot of different restaurants, etc. Does it bring problems? Yes. Does it have, infrastructure, everything? Okay. So this was what we began with 10 years ago, to try to take nature and culture and knowledge and make the different sectors, mix it all together, make a platform for cooperation between all this, and also to reach out to the scientists and the best people available, to all these wonderful people who live, for example, in Reykjavik, on our premises. We want to have something to say with it. We just don't want them to knock on our doors and give us report on something they have been researching on. And so every year, the owners of the regional park and their maybe most important, what they own is my time, because that's how we do it. They pay my salary and they decide what we do, and then they say yes or no to projects. I could say a lot about this, but this is the very, very important part, because it's very easy to do a little bit in a lot of things when you're small and don't make any difference. So it's essential that they choose project well. So they try to have control on it. That's not always easy. I feel sorry for them sometimes. But Snæfellsnes place branding and visibility, that's something we really want to do. And the homepage is almost ready. So snæfellsnes.is. It's probably tomorrow that the new page is going to open with the new brand. Paths. We want people to be able to walk around Snæfellsnes, go horse riding around Snæfellsnes, bicycling around Snæfellsnes. Those groups don't always fit together. We want people to go to those places who have been built up. There are 28 places in Snæfellsnes that we are proud of to say to guests and inhabitants, use this. And then, we don't want to say, don't go to the other places, but we want that our work goes in that direction. Because not everything is available, not in nature, not in culture. And this is the homework that we are doing. And then we are always, every year they choose some project about food, because food and young people is something we always can agree on. So if you're working in networking, and when people are focusing on what they don't agree on, then you start talking about food and young people, and then, we get the common ground again. They decided, this wonderful people of Snæfellsnes, who are fishermen and farmers and tourist owners, and they come together, they discuss, they have very different meanings, and they dare to try new things. And they decided that they wanted to become UNESCO Men and Biosphere Area. So we sent in an application for that now in September, and hopefully we will make it and be part of that family next year. We have open Snæfellsnes inhabitants and visitor centers, open every day. There are 5 visitor centers in Snæfellsnes. Call me old-fashioned. Many people say it's all online today, but this is a very important part of distributing and also involving inhabitants to what we are doing. And then, of course, we work in Nordic regulated tourism and have been so important for us. And we are working in Nordic UNESCO Trail, and there are reports in all those projects and available online, and you can ask me about it if you want. And then we take some smaller project that the owners say yes to. And that is our luxury problem now. On every board meeting, there's a list of projects that we are invited to be part of, and the board try to say no to most of them. Because we have to focus. We have to finish those big things, but we also have to listen to the people of Snæfellsnes, what they want us to do. So the regional park is supposed to attract funding, withhold image, organize events, educate and train, develop ideas, inspire people, connect, and gather and share information. Very easy, and as you can see, almost everything falls under this. That's why they have to choose. And you don't have to have many employees, even though one person don't do anything, but one person can do a lot of things with others. And so that's the beauty of this model. And I think it's working well. And it's a platform for cooperation. We are mapping, we are trying to understand what we have, we are trying to see what is changing, we are talking, we are arguing, we are going out in nature. And I want to underline that. It's not a good sign if everyone always agrees. Absolutely not. It's good if you have a platform to have those different voices. A lot of things are changing in tourism, like and I'm just going to go quick through it. And I totally agree so much with what has been said here already. And this is our path: storytelling. What stories do we want to tell about Snæfellsnes? What stories do we want to tell in 20 years, 10 years? And we want to decide that. Of course, we can. It's not only us. But we want to take place there. Then you don't just eat food. You have stories and you have environment. And so that's so much bigger experience. Also, what we tried, and now this is a success and we do it every year, we have like open swimming pools for inhabitants and guests. And we mix it with something, mineral water, singing from Snæfellsnes, put light on the infrastructure and, be in the swimming pool during the night, dance in the swimming pool, look at the Snæfellsnes film in swimming pools. This is the visitor center, who is also for inhabitants, and the regional park is running, where the main entrance to Snæfellsnes is. And we've been working with the University of Hólar. Kjartan was helping me with this, and and there's a lot of people in Snæfellsnes who have a big part in what have been going well. And then create this international connection and those projects that brings us money, brings us knowledge, that is so important. I want people to live around Snæfellsnes and tell their stories and the place names, and we could talk a long time about this. We also do have this EarthTech certification and have had that for 50 years, where we measure. And I'm not saying that we are best, not even saying we are very good, but I'm saying that we know where we're going and we put new goals every year and we measure so we know how are we doing according to other places. And this is an example of how we do a project. UNESCO Menning Biosphere, what is that? The local governments, inhabitants have questions, reports, meeting, and then application. And this fits so well into regenerative tourism, with its focus on research and monitoring, development for sustainable future and conservation of. And this is a plan that a regional plan made of the people who live there and those who need to also be involved. And then we try to think big as well, connect our project to the sustainability goals of the United Nations. And before I give the floor to my friend Jessica, which has been a pleasure to work with in this, with the rest, of course, of the team in this project. Now, all the schools, they were involved, all the schools in Snæfellsnes, they want to be involved further. They have been looking at what they are teaching their children about seals when we were looking at this citizen science. We invited all landowners, we invited all tourist companies, this is how we were. And then we ended up with a team, and what came out of it, and Jessica is of course going to talk more about that, is knowledge about how to do this, and how to work together in this. And we learned that people can be trusted. I was a little bit stressed when I bought the binoculars. I thought the tourists wouldn't give them back. They all gave them back. People can be trusted, remember that. And they filled out forms. It was a QR code, it was an email. On the other end of the line was a team of scientists that were working with the data. We now know more about the harbour seal and the grey seal. They are both struggling, and there's a lot of interest for wild animals, and we need knowledge. So I think it's a beautiful example of regenerative tourism. We want people to come, and landowners who have decided to invite people to their homes, they want and need knowledge, and we need this discussion. So this has been a very good learning process for us, and we're just started. So I hope you have a lot of questions and you can come with them now or later.